Hello everyone, I'm Emily.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are the hosts of the I Don't Think So podcast. Each episode we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery and decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so.
Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our theories on your favorite place to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, leave us a rating, leave us 5 stars, follow us on our socials at I Don't Think So _EH, or check out our YouTube channel at IDTS Conspiracies.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, my nose started itching really bad in the middle of that. I'm like, I can't sneeze in the middle of our, intro.
No,
But I held it back.
that would be so embarrassing.
Oh. Thanks to Dan in the background.
The sneeze, he just transferred it.
You're welcome. Oh, so welcome to our second week in October.
Ooh.
I love October.
Same. I feel like it's going fast.
I know. Every month. We got ghosts in this house. And they've got allergies.
I hate when that happens.
Man. But last episode, we kind of wrapped up and started our October month with another missing persons case. So, Hannah, the theme I decided to do this year, which is kind of similar to what we did last year. Last year, we did like ghost stories.
Ooh, that's a surprise for me.
No. But this year, I thought we could talk not quite just about ghost stories, but about haunted places and kind of their history and their background and a little bit more about them.
I like it. Season 3, we're upgrading.
Places. Person, place, thing, nouns.
Or idea.
Oh.
Those abstract nouns are hard.
Honestly. I think
It's
that
like
every time.
I hate it. Sorry, little tangent. 3rd grade, we're supposed to do person, place, thing, or idea. And their idea is like social justice. It's like, what? Or no.
You're radicalizing those children.
I'm like, I think more like friendship.
Courage.
Courage. Perseverance.
They're like, no. I know what we're doing.
Social justice.
You're like, where the hell did that come from?
This is why people think we're indoctrinating kids.
Where did that... No! Friendship. That's fun. So, Hannah, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this island called Poveglia.
Oh.
In Italy. Have you heard of it?
To be fair, this is a bold statement. Sometimes I forget that countries have islands.
I know.
Like the whole, this is a very, lots of islands in this country. I'm like, really?
Well, there's some countries that are literally just islands, like the Philippines and things like
that.
And I'm
like, that makes more sense to me. It's like when they've got big chunks and I don't know.
Italy. Italy shouldn't have an island. But they do, So Poveglia is a small island located between Venice and Lido in the Venetian lagoon of northern Italy.
Okay.
Also, a round of applause for me for nailing a bunch of those words. Because that was like... How many times?
Venetian lagoon. How many times did you say that into a mirror today?
More than once. How many times I've had to look up Poveglia?
Poveglia's? Oh, yeah. Maybe if you say it with an Italian accent.
Poveglia.
Poveglia.
The island first appears in the historical records in 421.
AD?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They don't put a BC, so I'm guessing AD.
You know what I also hate? How BC is counting down.
Oh, I know.
And AD's counting up. Well, counting up makes sense, but
I know it's Latin, but my Catholic upbringing makes me think it's before death.
Or before Christ and after death.
Yeah, before Christ, after death. Not what it is.
No.
But my brain refuses to learn the new one, so.
That was also a 3rd grade thing. We talk about because it's with like the Roman calendar.
Oh. So is it not Latin?
It is Latin,
Oh, okay.
but it's like I'll let you know. You keep going.
Okay, so the island first appears in historical record in 421, and it was populated until the residents fled due to warfare in 1379. For more than 100 years, beginning in 1776, America! The island was used as a quarantine station for those suffering from the plague and other diseases, and later would be used as a mental hospital. The mental hospital closed in 1968, and the island has been vacant ever since. Because of its history, the island is frequently featured on paranormal shows and is really believed to be very haunted. So,
sorry, pause.
okay.
The BC is before Christ.
Oh!
But AD is for Anno Domini, which means the year of our Lord. So like the year he was born, not after death.
Oh.
AD stands for Anno Domini.
So it is a religious thing.
But I think you can also.
Why is it before Christ so simple?
But there's also like CE, which is what it's like.
Common
That's what I'm
era.
looking for, which is a common era. So that like now, if you're not trying to do like the religious side of it, like BC is before Christ, AD Anno Domini, which means like the year of our Lord.
But if you
But
put like BCE or
CE is common era, meaning
ABCE.
now. BCE before common era, which is what they like teach in public schools now today. What? But BC, you're right, before Christ. I thought I knew that too, but I always thought it was after death, and then there's just like this 40-year gap that like he didn't die yet.
True. I didn't know. Well, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Poveglia is kind of, if you're thinking about Italy, and it looks like a big boot, you know?
Yeah.
Up by the knee.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm. For those who really wanted more about it.
Directly west of the knee.
Straight like the knee pit, you know?
No, because it's the other direction.
The knee pit?
Well, the knee is going out that way.
Yeah, I said the knee pit.
It's in the
pit
inside?
of the knee. Like your knee pit.
Oh, I thought it was at that one.
No, little red dot.
It is the knee. It's kind of like a butt cheek. If a boot's the thigh high, it looks like a thigh high. It's in the butt crack. It's like in the like where your butt cheek meets your leg,
where the butt meets the thigh.
That's where we're talking.
That's where we're. Google it if you will. So,
not west. It's
not at all west.
I was looking at the wrong island.
More than one island. Go Italy.
Is that considered an island if it's that big?
Madagascar is considered an island. Australia is considered an island.
Oh, I hate that. Continue.
The visits to the island are now prohibited, but various books and articles report on visits by writers and or photographers. Believers in the paranormal have claimed that Poveglia, is the most haunted island, or maybe one of the most haunted places in the world.
Wow.
So a little bit history. So like I said, the island is first mentioned in Chronicles of 421 when people from Padua,
Yep.
and Este
Ooh.
fled there to escape the barbarian invasions. In the 9th century, the island's population began to grow, and in the following centuries, its importance grew steadily until it was governed by a dedicated podesta. Oh my god. You know, I really nailed a couple of those words, and now here we are.
Just the variation in dictated and dedicated.
Very different.
Different vibes. Sorry.
Very, very much.
Continue.
It was governed by a dedicated podesta. In 1379, Venice came under attack from the Genoan fleet.
Like Genovia?
It looks like Genovia. Genoan. The people of Poveglia were moved then to Giudecca. I'm so sorry for everyone who knows how to pronounce these. The island remained uninhabited in the subsequent centuries, and in 1527, the Doge offered the island to the Kamaldosi monks, who would then refuse that offer. Like, they were offered this
and
island, and they're like, no.
Pass. I heard it's haunted by a dedicated dictator.
He was apparently very dedicated. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. From 1645 on, the Venetian government built 5 octagonal forts to protect and control the entrances to the lagoon. The Poveglia octagon is one of 4 that still survive.
Wow.
Good infrastructure. Roads don't last half a year anymore.
That Roman infrastructure is good.
Venetian.
Close enough.
Same. In 1776, the island came under the jurisdiction of the Magistero alla Santia, which is basically a fancy word for public health office.
Wow. Why don't we use that?
Crazy. And became a checkpoint for all goods and people coming to and going from Venice by ship.
Okay.
In 1793, there were several cases of the plague on 2 ships, and consequently, the island was transformed into a temporary confinement station for the ill.
Oh.
So this is where we really start fucking shit up. You know? This role would become permanent in 1805 under the rule of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Not a great dude.
Short man.
Short king energy.
Had a lot of issues. Who had the old church of San Vitale destroyed. The old bell tower was converted into a lighthouse, and they would call this station, confinement station for the ill, Lazaretto, and that was closed then in 1814. So it was really only open for like not quite 10 years, 9 years.
Okay.
The island was used as a quarantine station from 1793 until 1814. And in 1922, the existing buildings were then converted into an asylum for the mentally ill and later used as a nursing home or a long-term care facility until its closure in 1968, which...
That's a long time.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm old, right, and they're like, you know what, Grandma? It's time for you to go into a home, and you ship me to an island that was
a quarantine island.
Quarantine, and then utilized for the folks who are like not mentally able to rejoin society.
Yeah.
I'm revolting.
Yeah. Well, they probably sent them there because they couldn't.
I'm crying.
It's off me at that point.
Oh. Afterwards, the island was briefly used for agriculture, and then it would be completely abandoned.
It's odd that they couldn't use it for agriculture previously.
No. In 2014, the Italian state auctioned a 99-year lease of Poveglia, which would remain state property to raise revenue, hoping that a buyer would redevelop the hospital into a luxury hotel.
No. That is how you get these haunted ass hotels. This used to be an insane asylum where and then people farmed.
Hey, you know, what are you gonna do?
Oh God, that's a horrible idea.
The highest bid was from Italian businessman.
They did it?
Yep.
Oh God.
Luigi Brugnaro, and he paid 513,000 euros for it. Pounds.
Is that like?
I don't know what that is. I can do quick math.
I mean, I can search too. What's the transfer rate from euros to dollars?
Euros are more than dollars.
So it's okay.
I'm also pretty sure it's a euro.
How much was it?
513,000.
Too many zeros. So that's
about 56.
$563,000. That's still $500,000. I feel like that's not that much for an island.
Yeah.
Haunted island, I guess. I don't know.
Luigi planned to invest about 20 million euros into a restoration plan.
There you go.
The lease did not proceed because his project was judged not to meet all the conditions. Other sources suggested that the deal was annulled because the bid was too low.
Oh.
So they're like, that's not enough money. And I'm like, he's gonna put like 20 mil into it, but whatever.
But if he can afford to put 20 million, he can afford to cough up $1 million to them.
Regnaro initially fought the cancellation of the lease, but after he became mayor of Venice, he renounced any intentions to be there for the island. So don't worry, he's now the mayor of Venice.
Perfect.
In 2015, a private group, Poveglia, Jesus. That's not their name. Poveglia per Tutti was hoping to raise 25 to 30 million euros for a new plan to include, quote, a public park, a marina, a restaurant, a hostel, and a study center.
Oh.
As of 2023, though, the island is still vacant.
No study center.
No public park, no marina. Fuck. So a little bit about the buildings and the structures on the island. The surviving buildings on the island consist of a cabana, a church, a hospital, an asylum, a bell tower, housing and administration buildings for the staff. The bell tower is the most visible structure on the island, and it dates back to the 12th century. It belonged to the Church of San Vitale, which was demolished under Napoleon's orders in 1806. The tower was reused then as a lighthouse.
Okay.
The existence of an asylum on Poveglia seems to be confirmed by a sign for Reparto Psychiatria.
Okay.
Would be my guess, which it just translated to English psychiatric department.
Okay.
And which is still visible among kind of dilapidated buildings.
Okay.
You can see this photograph by Ransom Riggs in May of 2010, where he did a photo essay documenting his visit there. However, there seems to be no evidence of an alleged prison. At one point, there was an alleged prison there, but there's like nothing to prove
that there was a prison there.
Yeah. A bridge connects the island where the buildings stand with the island that was given over to trees and fields. The octagonal fort is on a third and separate island next to the island with all the buildings, but is not connected to it.
Okay.
The fort consists solely of a like earthen rampart faced on the outside with brick. So it just looks like a wall, basically. The island contains one or more plague pits.
Ooh.
Which is an awful way to say that.
Yeah.
And an estimate published by the National Geographic suggests that over 100,000 people died on the island over the centuries and were buried in these plague pits.
Jeez.
Another source by Atlas Obscura provides an estimate of around 160,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
News reports published in 2014 and 2015 confirmed that the building and rusting artifacts still exist. The island contained dilapidated buildings, including the Church of St. Vitale, a hospital, an asylum, a prison, plus all those offices. So in popular culture, sometime after the island became a quarantine station for ships arriving in Venice in the 18th century, a plague was discovered on those two ships. The island would be sealed off and used to host people with infectious diseases, leading to tons of terminally ill Venetians kind of just waiting to die before it's believed that their ghosts would return to kind of haunt the island or were stuck on the island. A doctor allegedly experimented on patients with crude lobotomies in hopes to figure out a cure for the plague. Which I don't know why a lobotomy would fix anything.
I don't know why anyone's like lobotomy.
You know what?
Temperamental lobotomy. Plague lobotomy. Sexually frisky lobotomy.
She looked at me wrong. Lobotomy. It's like, come on, folks. According to a 2014 report by the Travel Channel, the doctor jumped from the bell tower in the 1930s after claiming he had been driven mad by the ghosts.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I don't know if anyone can hear the noise.
Our neighbor's guinea hens are out.
Oh, that was spooky.
It was good timing.
So this doctor would later die. Decades later, nearby residents claimed to still hear the bell, although it was removed many years earlier. That report, titled Haunted History, also states that some restoration work has started recently, but it kind of abruptly stopped without any explanation. The island has been featured on paranormal shows such as Ghost Adventures and The Scariest Places on Earth, and has been explored and featured on the YouTube by Shai, Shiey, Shay, and was also featured in a video by Yes Theory in 2019. In 2023, the island was explored by an Irish YouTuber named Dara Ta, who stayed on the island overnight, exploring the abandoned bell tower to search for traces of paranormal activities. His mission somewhat succeeded after he received some words in Italian on the radio, including leave, incident, and exploded, but he would deny seeing any existence of ghosts. So that's kind of all of the history about Poveglia. A lot of times people say they see this doctor who jumped to his death when you're out there.
Okay.
Hearing creepy noises, hearing voices talking, moaning, groaning, grunting, hearing the bell toll late at night, even though there is no more bell.
Right.
Apparently even like local fishermen won't go near the island.
Wow.
So it feels like with so many lives being lost on the island, that's why it's expected that this island is haunted.
Got it. Creepy.
Yeah, that's Poveglia.
Interesting.
Italian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think it's just interesting to hear about the history of like how things get used when you hear about that and you're like, and then it was sold to be a hotel or like they're trying. And it's like, I feel like we see that a lot nowadays. And then people are like, yeah, I just feel like some dark tension. It's like, yeah, well, hundreds of thousands of people have died here from the plague. They're all buried in that pit back there.
Well, and I understand, like, we're talking mass casualties on a extreme scale.
Right.
So, like, I get it. Not everyone's going to get a funeral. Not everyone's going to get, like, a headstone and a perfect place. Can we not just throw them in a pit?
Well, and, like, what is the legality of, like, them building something on top of that?
I don't know.
I feel like it shouldn't be legal.
Well, at what, I mean, like, obviously, maybe, I don't know. I feel like we should do something about it. Like, I feel like it's not nice to, like, dig up people, I understand. But, like.
But if they could transfer them to, like, a more appropriate,
cemetery?
like, resting place, yeah.
But if there's, like, 160,000 people buried in 2 pits, firstly, big pits.
Well, they're probably decomposed a lot, too, if it was from, like, the...
You're just going to have a pile of bones. So how do you say, like, this bone goes to this person and that bone goes... So it might...
It still have to be some sort of, like, a mass grave.
Yeah, at this point, it's almost like put up a fence. And there might be one there now. They did not show it in any of these pictures that I did see. Also, yeah, if you aren't going to be on the island for any amount of time, it's going to get gross. It's going to get dilapidated.
Yeah.
Which just adds to, like, a whole different level of creepy.
I just wonder, like, how you get in there then if there's, like, no one. I
mean, I think there's some people who are like, I'll drop you off. If you die, that's on you.
Yeah, it's just odd to me.
Isn't that nuts, though? I was like...
it's weird.
I was looking up different haunted places because I was like, we've been to a few.
Yes.
Like, whether that was on our 4-H trips or, like, we just live around them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm going to do one a little more, like, general, and then we can get into the nitty-gritty of, like, the bridge in Downsville.
Yeah.
No, what's it called?
Caryville? We did that one already.
Oh. Can't do it again.
First season.
It's been a long time. It's been years.
Oh, we talked about Elk Lake.
Very haunted.
Now I just live like.
You live
like a mile or so, a couple miles probably.
Probably, but not too far.
From E, isn't it?
Well, do you remember? This is like we're going back. We're really. This is going to be for about 3 people. You're welcome.
You're probably the 3 listening, so we thank you.
We appreciate you. We thank you. Do you remember in middle school volleyball? They talked about that young man who passed away and then like made you go in the locker room and then everyone would scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's haunted. And then it turned out that like this gentleman died when my dad was like in school.
And like we knew him.
We like knew him. He was a neighbor.
Yeah.
And now I think about that and I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Also, if you think about, like, they don't really know actually how he died. They just know someone died there.
Yeah. And like, we
And
know
he
how
didn't
he died.
actually die
he
there.
died in the hospital. But like,
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about that and I'm like, God, I hope that tradition died, you know?
I hope so too. That's a little icky.
You know what else I hope tradition died? Middle school volleyball. If you freaking step on a corner, you got to run another lap. And I'm like, who is stepping on the corner?
I'm going to punch you.
Steer clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's a good ending.
That's a good end. That's a good end.
If you have any other haunted places you'd like us to investigate, please let us know, and we'll definitely look into looking at them.
We're gonna look up. We're not going anywhere.
We will look into it. Or if you have any other suggestions of themes that you would like us to investigate, please reach out to us at I don't think so _EH on any of our socials, or IDTS conspiracies _conspiracies.
No, IDTS. It's just IDTS conspiracies
on YouTube.
Yeah. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.